like Operations Blue Lotus and Four Horsemen, including at our ports of entry here in Arizona. For example, this Luis port of entry, 38 kilograms of fentanyl were interdicted after being discovered in a vehicle during secondary inspection. The San Luis port of entry was last redesigned over 40 years ago, and its capacity to screen people and vehicles is not keeping up with demand, resulting in long wait times for pedestrians and passengers, as well as lost revenue and pollution for communities on both sides of the border. This strains the Customs and Border Protection personnel who work tirelessly day in and day out to vet and process every truck, every crate, and every person coming through this port. Easing the strain on our agents and officers and delivering for all those who use, depend on, and live near these ports requires that we bring our ports of entry into the 21st century. I am honored to celebrate with you the groundbreaking of a project that will do just that, the San Luis Land Port of Entry Modernization and Expansion Project. Among the Department of Homeland Security's most important priorities are to modernize our infrastructure and deliver a better customer experience to the public we serve. This modernization project here in San Luis is ensuring we deliver on those priorities. Thanks to the Biden-Harris administration's Bipartisan Infrastructure Law, San Luis and 25 other ports of entry across the country are receiving once-in-a-generation upgrades. The San Luis Modernization Project will double the number of northbound vehicle lanes, expand facilities for processing southbound vehicles, and increase the number of pedestrian inspection lanes by 40%. Beyond upgrading the facilities, this project will provide the infrastructure to install state-of-the-art technology, like biometric facial comparison and non-intrusive inspection systems that make screening and vetting more efficient and thorough. This modernization project will ensure our economy continues to thrive while our communities remain safe for years and years to come. Thank you all for joining today, for your support of this critical project, and for all you do to keep our country safe.
Thank you. The U.S. Customs and Border Protection Tucson Field Office Honor Guard will now present colors. Please rise and remain standing for the presentation of colors and national anthems.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light, what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Present. Point. Order. Point. Left turn. Point.
Mexicanos al grito de guerra, el acero aprestad y el bridón, y retiembla en sus centros la tierra al sonoro rugir del cañón. Y retiembla en sus centros la tierra al sonoro rugir del cañón. Ciño patria, tus sienes de oliva, de la paz el arcángel divino, que en el cielo tu eterno destino por el dedo de Dios expiró. Mas si osare un extraño enemigo profanar con su planta tu suelo, pienso patria querida que el cielo un soldado en cada hijo te dio, un soldado en cada hijo te dio. Mexicanos al grito de guerra, el acero aprestad y el bridón, y retiembla en sus centros la tierra al sonoro rugir del cañón. Y retiembla en sus centros la tierra al sonoro rugir del cañón.
Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm round of applause for today's distinguished speakers.
Please take your seats. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. My name is Suki Kang, Regional Administrator for the U.S. General Services Administration's Pacific Rim region, and also your Master of Ceremonies today. I'd like to welcome each and every one of you to today's groundbreaking ceremony for this San Luis Land Port of Entry Modernization and Expansion Project. At this time, I'd like to just take a moment to thank the U.S. Customs and Border Protection for their presentation of the colors, and Ms. Kayla Martinez and Ms. Elsa Oralia Cruz Guevara for their excellent rendition of the U.S. and Mexican national anthem. How about a big round of applause for their great work? It is indeed a great honor to be here in San Luis, Arizona, as we break ground on the San Luis Land Port of Entry Modernization and Expansion Project. I'm joined today by federal, state, and regional stakeholders who strongly advocated for funding for this project, as well as the professionals charged with delivering the construction project. Their efforts will translate into future benefits for the residents, travelers, businesses in the Arizona-Sonora region in the years to come. We're very honored to have with us a number of special guests, some of whom you'll hear from over the next hour. I'd like to first recognize our speakers for today's event. The Honorable Katie Hobbs, Governor, State of Arizona. The Honorable Mark Kelly, U.S. Senator for the State of Arizona. The Honorable Robin Carnahan, Administrator for the U.S. General Services Administration. The Honorable Nieves, Mayor, City of San Luis, Arizona. The Honorable Santos Gonzalez Yescas, Mayor, City of San Luis, Rio Colorado, Mexico. Consul General Lara from the U.S. Consulate in Nogales, Sonora. Consul of Mexico, Dulce Maria Valle Alvarez from the Mexican Consulate in Yuma, Arizona. Martha Gonzalez, Congressional District Aide for Congressman Raul Grijalva. And Donald Stakes, Executive Director of Mission Support, U.S. Customs and Border Protection. In addition, I'd like to acknowledge the following distinguished guests in the audience. Gerardo Jerry Anaya, Mayor of the City of Somerton. Cecilia McCollar, Mayor of the City of Welton. Doug Nichols, Mayor of the City of Yuma. Bianca Lopez, Border and Immigration Affairs Director for Senator Kirsten Sinema. Jennifer Toth, Director, Arizona Department of Transportation. Omar Del Valle Colosio, Secretary of Infrastructure and Urban Development, Sonora State Government. Keith Watkins, Senior Vice President of the Arizona Commerce Association. Dennis Cunehan, CBP National Director, Mission Support Office of Field Operation. John Swam, CBP Area Port Director. And special dignitaries from the Arizona-Sonora region. For all other invited guests, welcome, and thank you for being here.
Please help us welcome our first speaker today, Governor Katie Hobbs.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. It is great to be down in San Luis again today, joined by so many community leaders and elected officials. The lineup of people we have today demonstrates Arizona's commitment at every level of government to address border issues in a productive way. Since taking office in January, I've met with Border Patrol officials, local law enforcement, and elected leaders to hear about the challenges they face every day when serving border communities. What I continue to learn from these conversations is clear. Government must invest in providing border communities the tools they need to thrive. With today's groundbreaking, we are on the path to making that happen. This modernization and expansion project will drastically improve efficiencies at the port of entry, including reducing wait times and deploying the latest technology to identify high-risk activity like drug trafficking. The San Luis Port of Entry is vital to the cross-border relationship between Arizona and Mexico. With 3 million non-commercial vehicles and 2.5 million pedestrians passing through yearly, it serves as a key bridge between us. Just last week, I had the pleasure of hosting Mexico's Secretary of Tourism, Secretary Torruco, as well as Sonoran Governor Durazo, where we recommitted our efforts to expanding tourism between Arizona and Sonora across the mega region. The expansion of this port of entry will be critical to making that happen. My administration is working hard to ensure that we fully leverage the mega region as a single asset and work closely with our partners south of the border because their success is our success. On that note, I want to thank Consul General Lara Biederbach, Consul Dulce Maria Valle Alvarez, and Mayor Santos Gonzalez for their continued partnership in addressing the variety of issues and challenges at the border. This groundbreaking is only the beginning. With 2 other projects to follow, I'm excited for the expanded capabilities and increased efficiency for our ports of entry. Under my administration, working closely with cities and counties, we will continue to carefully evaluate and identify the specific needs of each area and tailor the support to those needs. Thank you again so much.
Thank you, Governor Hobbs. Our next speaker has been a strong advocate for our land ports of entry. Please welcome Senator Mark Kelly.
Morning, everybody. Still morning. Great to be here. It's nice and cool here compared to Tucson yesterday. I don't know if anybody saw the weather there, but it's nice to be in cool, but as always, sunny Yuma, Arizona. And it's especially great to be here to celebrate this groundbreaking. I mean, the long-awaited modernization of the San Luis Port of Entry is a big deal. It really is. You know, when this is complete, this means so much to this community, to Arizona, and to both of our nations. It's going to mean shorter wait times, increased travel and trade, better security, and screening for illegal cargo. But let me just take a moment to talk about why that is important. You know, if there are 2 things, just 2 things that define southwestern Arizona, it's Yuma's agricultural industry and cross-border travel and trade with Mexico. And the San Luis Port of Entry is a major regional economic engine for the city of San Luis, for Yuma County, and our entire state. I mean, it connects our state with our leading trade partner in Mexico, supporting everything from local agriculture and retail to our manufacturing industries on both sides of the border. But it also means that an outdated port of entry can lead to excessive delays, and that costs money. It costs money for businesses, and it costs money for families. So that was front of mind for me when I got working in the United States Senate to modernize this port. And for me, it even started before I was elected. I remember having conversations, I think, with Mayor Nichols about this and others, about once I got to the United States Senate that this would be one of my top priorities. And it has been. And what we're witnessing today is the Bipartisan Infrastructure Law. And we worked hard to get this passed. Democrats and Republicans working together, and you're seeing this right here in San Luis, Arizona. And I was part of that bipartisan group that negotiated and passed this infrastructure law. And when we were working on it, you know, I knew it was an opportunity to achieve some really long-time goal for this part of our state, to upgrade this port and other ports along our border. And we worked together, as I said, Democrats and Republicans, the way this is supposed to work, to just get it done. Because the difference it could make for families and businesses here was so significant. And ultimately, we were able to secure more than $3 billion to modernize and expand the ports in the state of Arizona. And since our infrastructure bill became law, you know, I worked closely with GSA to make sure that this was going to be the first port of entry project in the country to break ground with these funds from this legislation. In the end, we will have constructed every port improvement identified by the community, by our partners, by Mexico, and most importantly, by the Customs and Border Patrol, CBP, their staff who work at this facility and others like it each and every day. This is their port. But this project would not be possible without the support and persistent hard work of the local leaders that are here today, who have been working to get these improvements for years, if not decades for some of them. So thank you for your leadership on this. Really thank you. In so many ways, our infrastructure law was crafted with Arizona in mind. Not just investing in our ports, but also in our airports, our aviation infrastructure, our roadways and bridges, and expanding access to affordable, high-speed internet. So I am really happy to be here today. This was something that I've been working on since even before I was in office. And it's great to have so many partners in this room. It's great to have successes. And there's more of that to come. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Senator Kelly. Please welcome our next speaker, GSA Administrator Robin Carnahan.
So thank you all so much for being here. It is very exciting to be back in San Luis. I was here about 6 months ago and had a tour of the port, met the mayor, met the folks in the community, and saw how enthusiastic everybody is about this project. Governor, I'm going to give this to you. In fact, can I give it to you? Okay. It's wonderful to be with you. Thanks for coming here, Senator. Thanks for your partnership. And mayors, I appreciate you being here. It is a great honor to be able to do this. As Senator said, this is the first of the major investments of the Bipartisan Infrastructure Law. It's an example of what the President talks about when he talks about investing in America. That's what it is all about. It's about creating good-paying jobs. It's about enhancing security. It's about building sustainability into these projects and having a more prosperous future for all of our communities along the border. So when I was here in December, I got to see firsthand how important this was, the crucial need for national security, for the supply chain, and for all of the both vehicles and pedestrians that are going back and forth. I want to talk a little bit about what's going to happen there. For those who don't know, we're going to be doubling the number of inspection lanes from 8 to 16, so that's obviously going to speed the process, but it's also going to allow for cutting-edge technology to be integrated into all of the process. We're also expanding the pedestrian lanes. It's a 40% increase. It's going to have 4 pedestrian lanes now. So that is all good news, sir, for your mission and your ability to get things done there. I will tell you that we're also doing something else that's really smart. It doesn't always happen in government, so listen to this. We are leveraging some other funds to also make this the first net zero, that means reduced carbon and emissions, land port of entry in the country. It's going to be a model of sustainability of what's possible that everyone in the country is going to look to San Luis to try to replicate. And y'all should be very proud of that. It is going to have the highest, it's called LEED Platinum rating. It's going to include solar panels. It's going to include water-saving features and up-to-date battery systems and all kinds of resilience measures. So we're really, really excited about that. And Senator, I will tell you, I know how hard you worked to get this money. This isn't the only project that we're doing in Arizona. Full on, we're going to be investing in $600 million in projects across this state that are going to help commerce, help security, and help these communities. So if there is one thing you remember from my talk today, I hope that you will just go home with the fact that these investments in America are really triple wins. They're wins for creating good jobs. They're wins for saving money because we're cutting these costs of energy and operations. And they're obviously wins for our planet and our national security. So the work is starting now. And before we proceed, I just want to call some folks out. So can I have folks who are our partners in this stand up? Folks from the cities and county, please stand. Mayor, that includes you. Come on, everybody. Okay, now how about on the other side of the border? State. Okay, Sonora, I see you. Our state partners. I see you transportation people out there. You need to stand up. All right, CBP. Stand up, CBP folks. All right, any other federal partners in the room? How about contractor partners? Any of those folks show up? All right, stand up, y'all. How about our GSA team? All right, everybody stand up. Now look around and give yourselves a round of applause because you are the ones who are going to make this happen. So, last word, let's get to work.
Thank you, Administrator Carnahan. Please welcome San Luis Mayor Nieves Reyes.
Thank you. Buenos dias. Good morning. Thank you, everyone, for being here. It's too many of you to name, but from the bottom of our heart, here in our big city, with a bigger heart, we welcome you. This is a project that it had taken so many people, so many years to come to fruition. Finally, it's here. For us here in the city of San Luis, forever, we're going to be grateful. This is not just good for our local economy. This is going to be great for the global economy. This is something that is going to stay here forever. This is something that is going to benefit future generations. Having said that, growth comes with pain. For every single one of us, local people, our residents, the law enforcement, we know that people are going to complain. And what I would tell these people, with growth comes pain. But at the end, it's a project that is going to do wonderful things for our future generations. Thank you so much, every single one of you, for being here. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Reyes. Our next speaker is San Luis Rio Colorado Mayor Santos Gonzalez Yescas.
Buenos días a todos. Agradezco mucho la invitación que nos hizo nuestro amigo Luis Ramírez, yucateco, que está allá al fondo del salón, a este importante evento y que la verdad de las cosas todos debemos estar muy, muy emocionados. Y con el permiso de las personalidades que nos acompañan aquí en el presidium, de todos ustedes, de importantes empresarios, tanto de San Luis Río Colorado como de San Luis, Arizona y del condado aquí de Yuma. Para mí siempre es un placer saludar a mis amigos y compañeros mayores, como es el compañero y amigo Anaya, Cecilia, mayor Nichols y por supuesto la mayor Nieves Riedel, ¿verdad? De que hemos siempre trabajado muy bien porque coincidimos en todo. Y les vuelvo a repetir, estamos muy contentos por hoy nos hayan tomado en cuenta para dar la primera palada en Estados Unidos de lo que va a ser la aduana nueva aquí en San Luis, Arizona. Es un honor también estar con la gobernadora de Arizona. Sí, muchas gracias por acompañarnos este día pues inédito en esta región después de muchos años, sí, que estén senadores de los Estados Unidos, las cónsul de México y de Estados Unidos aquí con nosotros. Es muy importante, vuelvo a repetirlo, este evento, porque es una solicitud, una demanda de nuestra gente, ¿verdad?, que pasa a diario por estas aduanas de México y de Estados Unidos. Hace 25 años que nos estaban solicitando estas modificaciones. Yo agradezco también mucho porque ha sido importantísima la participación, ¿verdad?, fundamental de Ramón Riesgo, nuestro paisano, ¿verdad?, aquí presente, que siempre ha insistido. Un aplauso para Ramón Riesgo, ¿verdad? Muchas gracias. Y todos hemos estado involucrados en esto. Claro que también agradezco la presencia del secretario Omar del Valle Colosio, que nos acompaña en representación del ciudadano gobernador, el doctor Alfonso Durazo Montaño, también de David Figueroa, de Diego Legars, que vienen del gobierno del Estado. Fíjense que yo les puedo decir de que es tan importante, y los vuelvo a repetirlo, la importancia de esto para nosotros en México. Ustedes empujaron a que también el gobierno del Estado, por conducto del gobernador Alfonso Durazo, y el gobierno federal, del también bien querido y bien amado nuestro presidente Andrés Manuel López Obrador, se haga realidad el paso también acá en México. Hemos subsanado todos los problemas que se han tenido con el apoyo de empresarios, con el apoyo del gobierno del Estado. Queda un detallito, nada más, pero yo les puedo decir ahorita que ya está en avance lo que es la construcción del puerto de San Luis Río Colorado. Ahorita lleva un avance del 6%, lento, pero es muy importante también la realidad de las cosas. Hemos estado trabajando. San Luis Río Colorado, ahorita les puedo decir con plena seguridad, completamente convencido de que estamos pasando por un momento de crecimiento económico y que se ve en toda la población de nuestro municipio, en un momento evolutivo, también en una etapa que a todos se los digo, generosa y bondadosa por parte de nuestro gobernador Alfonso Durazo y del presidente Andrés Manuel López Obrador. Nosotros desde el gobierno municipal estamos siendo el valor agregado para todo lo que se necesite junto con los empresarios de nuestro municipio. Nosotros seguiremos impulsando también las obras de gran impacto que están aquí en San Luis Río Colorado, como es el libramiento, que ahorita me comentaba el secretario Omar del Valle Colosio, que vamos a empujarlo, vamos a seguir insistiendo para que se haga realidad la construcción a partir del año que entra. Están las termoeléctricas, está el Seguro Social. Ayer estuve en una reunión con el ciudadano gobernador en Hermosillo y nos anunciaba de que ya es inminente la construcción de un hospital general, que eso va a permear para toda nuestra gente del condado de Yuma, de San Luis, Arizona, de Somerton y de Welton, y por supuesto también que nuestra gente aquí del lado de Baja California. ¿Qué ocurre o concurre aquí por las aduanas tanto de San Luis Río Colorado como de San Luis, Arizona? Y por último, yo quiero decirles que es un tema también muy importante. Quiero que sepan que en la cuestión de seguridad nosotros estamos coordinados. Hoy en la mañana estuve en la mesa de la estrategia de la paz y la seguridad, ¿verdad?, que la implementó el presidente López Obrador desde el 2018, donde estamos los 3 niveles de gobierno, tanto la Policía Estatal, la Agencia Ministerial de Investigación Criminal, el Ejército Mexicano, la Guardia Nacional y nuestra policía municipal, que siempre somos los primeros respondientes y que ahorita pasamos por una etapa muy buena y de prestigio. Los sanluisinos y la gente de bien, la gente de buena voluntad, siempre estará segura en nuestro municipio. Bienvenidos todos y muchas gracias por tomar en cuenta a San Luis Río Colorado. Gracias.
Thank you, Mayor Yescas. Our next speaker is Consul General Lara from the U.S. Consulate in Nogales, Sonora.
Good morning. Muy buenos días a todos y todas aquí presentes. What an exciting day this is for our border communities of San Luis and San Luis, Colorado, Arizona and Sonora, and the United States and Mexico. It is my great pleasure to be here today representing our United States mission to Mexico and our U.S. Ambassador to Mexico, Ken Salazar. Last July, almost a year ago, President Biden and President López Obrador reaffirmed the United States and Mexico's commitment to cooperating to build a more prosperous and secure future for the people of North America. And for that, we need modern, efficient, and secure ports of entry to enhance our shared commerce and foster the strong social and family bonds that connect us. And I can't think of a group that represents those bonds more than the community that's gathered here today. At this morning's groundbreaking ceremony demonstrates the United States and Mexico are committed to a multi-year joint modernization effort for infrastructure projects along our 2,000-mile border. As our two presidents have noted, this joint effort seeks to align priorities, unite border communities, and make the flow of commerce and people more secure and efficient. Binational trade is essential to the overall development of the Sonora-Arizona megaregion. In 2022, nearly 50,000 northbound trucks were recorded as entering through the San Luis Port of Entry, in addition to over 2 million pedestrian crossings. Additionally, the value of fresh produce imports exceeds $500 million. We are confident that the modernization and expansion of the San Luis Port of Entry will enhance current trade dynamics, create well-paying local jobs, bolster safety and security, and make the economy more resilient to supply chain challenges, all while serving as models for sustainability and innovation, as the Administrator mentioned. Congratulations to the General Services Administration, U.S. Customs and Border Protection, the states of Arizona, and our friends and my colleagues in Sonora. Local governments in San Luis and San Luis Rio, Colorado, Yuma County, and the many business and private sector leaders for your immense work getting us to where we are today. It is a testament to the commitment of our binational community. As Ambassador Salazar often says, we are two countries with one future, and today is a vital step to ensure our continued shared prosperity. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Consul General Biederbach. Our next speaker is Consul of Mexico, Dulce Maria Valle Alvarez, from the Mexican Consulate in Yuma, Arizona.
Muchas gracias y buenas tardes a todos. Good afternoon. Para mí es señores y señoras, distinguidos invitados, para mí es un gran placer estar aquí y tener el honor de convivir con las personalidades aquí presentes, la gobernadora, el senador, la señora Robin Carnahan, los alcaldes, la cónsul general en Nogales y el director de la oficina en CBP. En fin, nos encontramos aquí, ya lo han dicho muchos de los oradores que me precedieron, para un muy importante evento desde el punto de vista de la relación binacional. San Luis Río Colorado es la segunda frontera más transitada de Sonora. La modernización del puerto fronterizo, acompañado de otras obras de infraestructura, dinamizará el comercio y permitirá eficientar el tránsito de personas, además de cambiar favorablemente la marca del municipio. Ya el alcalde Santos González Yascas ha hablado un poco sobre esto, sobre el desarrollo en la parte de México. Hace más de un año que el presidente López Obrador autorizó este proyecto y estamos con gran expectación viendo los avances del mismo. La idea de modernizar el puerto de entrada en ambos lados de la frontera se ha convertido en una visión compartida, un símbolo de unión y de prosperidad mutua. Además, las exportaciones mexicanas de productos manufacturados se han destacado por ser uno de los grandes productos de desarrollo tecnológico en México y se ha convertido México en el socio comercial número 1 de Arizona. El comercio con México sustenta más de 96,000 empleos en Arizona. Esta relación se refleja de manera especial en la estrecha conexión entre ambos estados, dos estados vecinos que se han convertido en socios comerciales estratégicos y han desarrollado una colaboración fructífera en diversos sectores, la agricultura, que ya se mencionó, la manufactura, la energía y, por supuesto, el turismo. La importancia de modernizar el puerto de entrada de San Luis radica en varios aspectos fundamentales. Ya se ha dicho, pero yo quiero hacer énfasis, porque se va a impulsar el comercio local, se va a fortalecer la economía de las ciudades fronterizas, también permitirá una mayor fluidez en el paso transfronterizo al reducir los tiempos de espera, a la par que complementa la facilitación del comercio internacional que ya se da a través del puerto de entrada de San Luis II. O sea, creo que esto es muy importante, es una parte complementaria y como ya lo explicaron aquí, va a tener, nos comentaron, 16 líneas de entrada. Esto pues va a dar muchísima fluidez. Además, el proyecto, ya se dijo, creará empleo y oportunidades, tanto durante el momento de la obra de la construcción, como también con el aumento del comercio y de la inversión en parques industriales, que estoy segura se van a desarrollar, y también en zonas comerciales cercanas que abrirán otras oportunidades de empleo en sectores relacionados como el transporte, la logística, la manufactura y el turismo. Quiero comentarles que en Arizona se encuentran empresas mexicanas como Cemex, La Costeña, FAMSA, OmniLife, Chedraui, Zucarmex, Azarco, Bimbo, Gruma e Interceramic. Fomentaremos una mayor presencia de industria mexicana y estadounidense en ambos lados de la frontera. Permítanme mencionar que el Consulado de México en Yuma desempeña un papel importante en la protección de los derechos de los ciudadanos mexicanos, la promoción del diálogo y la cooperación, la atención humanitaria a los migrantes y otra función a veces olvidada y que quiero subrayarla aquí, que es la promoción económica y comercial. Cuenten con nosotros para trabajar con las autoridades locales y actores empresariales para facilitar el intercambio comercial, promover oportunidades de inversión y fortalecer las relaciones económicas entre nuestras regiones. Una infraestructura dotada de la más alta tecnología, como también ya lo mencionaron aquí, tendrá un impacto positivo en temas de seguridad y también puede ayudar a reducir la corrupción al automatizar los procesos. A eso hay que mencionarlo también. Por otra parte, la fluidez en el paso de automóviles tendrá un impacto favorable para el medio ambiente, al disminuir el consumo de gasolina en las largas filas de espera. Y también, por supuesto, ya se mencionó, y lo quiero repetir, esta alta tecnología que han comentado que tendrá el puerto de entrada del lado estadounidense, favorable y amigable con el medio ambiente, la verdad lo aplaudo y lo felicito. Hoy, al poner esta primera piedra, estamos sentando las bases para un futuro próspero y sostenible. Que esta primera piedra sea el comienzo de un camino lleno de éxito y oportunidades para todos. Muchas gracias.
Thank you, Consul General Valle. Representing Congressman Grijalva, our next speaker is Congressional District Aide Marta Gonzalez.
Good morning. I would like to first thank GSA Pacific Rim Region Regional Administrator Suki Kang for extending an invitation to Representative Grijalva to this groundbreaking ceremony. Congressman Grijalva could not be here today due to a prior commitment to his role as ranking member of the House Natural Resource Committee. Additionally, I would also like to thank all the local elected officials and the larger community for their steadfast efforts in advocating for the modernization of the port of entry. Congressman Grijalva has a long history of supporting the modernization and expansion of the San Luis Land Port of Entry. From supporting inclusion of funds in the appropriations process to visiting the Port of Entry with then Appropriations Chair of the Financial Services and General Government Subcommittee, Mike Quigley, to leading a delegation letter to House leadership in support of over $3.5 billion for the Land Port of Entry modernization in the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act. The San Luis Land Port of Entry is a major regional economic partner for the City of San Luis and Yuma County as it supports the local economy, in particular, the agriculture and retail industries. Unfortunately, it is severely outdated, overburdened, and the congestion impacts pedestrian and vehicle traffic face every day. Thankfully, President Biden's Investing in America agenda is investing in port of entry infrastructure to strengthen our supply chains, address maintenance backlogs, and reduce congestion and emissions near ports, ultimately helping our country move goods more quickly at a lower cost. The funding towards the San Luis One Land Port of Entry will support the modernization and expansion to improve efficiency and traffic flows. Congratulations, and again, thank you for the opportunity to be here.
Thank you, Ms. Gonzalez. Our final speaker today is Donald Stakes, U.S. Customs and Border Protection Executive Director of Mission Support.
Good morning, and thank you very much for the kind introduction. And thank you to our distinguished guests and international partners for being here today for this special event. Unfortunately, scheduling conflicts have prevented Acting Customs and Border Protection Commissioner Troy Miller and Acting Deputy Commissioner Pete Flores from being here today. They send their regrets as well as their warm congratulations to all parties involved in the San Luis One Facility project. As way of background, CBP operates 328 ports of entry, and our Office of Field Operations includes more than 25,000 CBP officers and 2,600 agriculture specialists. On any given day, CBP processes nearly 900,000 travelers, more than 90,000 truck, rail, and sea containers, and more than $9.2 billion in imported products. At CBP, we have a duty to the American taxpayer to remain steadfast in our mission to interdict illegal narcotics, currency, weapons, and terrorists and criminals while ensuring lawful trade and travel. To meet our mission at the ports of entry, it requires the right balance of a professional workforce, state-of-the-art inspection technology, and modernized infrastructure. When these three key elements are not in alignment, it inhibits CBP's ability to maximize the effectiveness of our inspection and facilitation processes. What's more, it has a downstream effect not only on our national security, but our economic security as well. While CBP takes great pride in ownership of our mission at the ports of entry, we understand that the port is just one part of an ecosystem that makes up our border communities. Ensuring an efficient and secure supply chain and international travel continuum is imperative to growing a vibrant border and strengthening our economy. CBP recognizes that the San Luis One Port of Entry is a major economic engine for the city of San Luis, Yuma County, state of Arizona, and the United States by supporting the agriculture and retail industry. In fact, this port is the second busiest non-commercial port of entry in Arizona and processes on average more than 6,000 pedestrians and 8,000 vehicles daily. As Secretary Mayorkas alluded in his remarks, the agriculture sector in Yuma is a substantial supplier of winter produce. The availability of workers crossing each day from Mexico is necessary to facilitate the planting and harvesting of the produce shipped throughout the United States in the winter months. Across all of our mission sets in CBP, the one constant over the years has been growth, whether people, goods, or evolving threats. In the past 3 years, our volumes here in San Luis have grown by nearly 30%. and we are currently on track to meet or exceed that trend in fiscal year 2023. With those kind of growth volumes, expanding and modernizing the entire port is not only a desire, but a necessity. The enactment of the historic Bipartisan Infrastructure Law does present CBP with a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for significant investment in 26 land border ports of entry along both northern and southern borders, to include San Luis I. Due in large part to the people here today, we will soon expand northbound privately owned vehicle lanes at San Luis from 8 to 16. This will include primary and pre-primary vehicle inspection canopies and secondary vehicle processing areas. Southbound privately owned vehicle improvements will include new facilities with fixed inspection infrastructure for primary and secondary inspections and a new processing building. This project also includes increased pedestrian inspection lanes from 10 to 14, as well as a new administrative facility to support the CBP mission. The end result will improve traffic flows, and we anticipate a reduction in wait times. I also wanted to take a moment to highlight a few infrastructure improvements that are critical to supporting the back-end processing and well-being of our officers in CBP. This includes an enclosed 4-bay garage, which will allow officers to conduct highly sensitive inspections and vehicle breakdown out of the elements. As we continue to see record amounts of fentanyl at our borders, this type of screened inspection gives us the tools to keep ahead of the smugglers. There's also a new seizure storage vault, consists of 8,600 square feet to support officer work areas, seizure processing, vault storage, and an enclosed truck delivery area. The increased space will allow for more room to process and store the narcotics that this port of entry interdicts on a daily basis, with sufficient space to account for the increase we anticipate due to CBP's aggressive counter-narcotics priorities. And our K-9 assets in CBP continue to be an invaluable enforcement tool. And I'm glad to see that a new K-9 kennel will accommodate 40 K-9s, support space for bathing, vet care, and laundry facilities in this project. Thank you to the City of San Luis, GSA, and other stakeholders who have helped make this project a reality. I want to especially thank the entire project team from GSA, Hansel Phelps, Jones Studio, and especially our CBP team who have dedicated thousands of hours working together, developing and reviewing project documents to get us where we are today. We should never forget that CBP's mission never stops. And one of the key outcomes of our collaboration is that this port will be able to remain fully operational throughout construction. In closing, CBP remains vigilant and focused on supporting our frontline personnel in deploying the resources, technology, and assets they need to respond to rapidly changing conditions in various environments. To all CBP employees in attendance today, the work you perform every day is vital. When faced with unprecedented challenges, such as a global pandemic, line-of-duty deaths, increased border threats, and many other obstacles, your diligence to making our communities in this country a safer place has never been more evident. Congratulations again to all involved, and thank you for allowing me to participate in such a positive event and tell some of the CBP story. But in closing, we have a special presentation to make to someone who was integral to making this happen. We have a plaque as a token of our appreciation to Port Director John Schwam. Something to say? Sure.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you so very much for this recognition. It's an honor to be here. It's an honor to serve you and the community of San Luis, Yuma County, and our nation. I'm not going to hold it long. There's probably a lot I could say, and some of you know that that's probably too much. But some folks here in this room, along with those that are here on stage, have played a very integral part in making sure of one thing. It's not about one agency, it's not about one person, it's not about one community, it's not about anything like that. It's us in a binational way of the way that we address each other, the way that we work with each other, the way we care for each other. A binational effort in pandemics, addressing that need for the people of Mexico. In addressing the traffic flow, making sure it's sustained. And also having the support, not only from the governor and Senator Kelly and all those that are important, but from the local community as well. So it's not just one, it's all. And like I tell my kids, it's our job as the adults to make sure we give you the service that you need to succeed. It's us that have to make sure that our community get the needs that they need. So thank you. Thank you for everything that you've done to support this project. I'm proud to be a proud member of CBP here. Thank you.
Thank you. Director Sean.
Well, thank you so much, all the distinguished speakers. I'd like to thank all of our speakers for being here today, providing insightful remarks about the San Luis One Port Project and the impact it'll have on the region. Over the next 5 years, you'll have an opportunity to watch the San Luis One Land Port of Entry making it happen by rebuilt and expanded. You'll also see the construction team doing a great job, make sure that we are making this happen. I want to take a moment to acknowledge and thank our design, construction, and construction management team of Jones Studio, Hensel Phelps and Jacobs. We look forward to seeing your great work in the coming months and years. I would like to also acknowledge the men and women of CBP and other federal agencies who utilize facilities here at San Luis for their role in prioritizing this project and determining the requirements for the new port infrastructure. I'd also like to recognize the dedicated GSA professionals who are involved in multiple elements of this project. Scott Shin, Project Executive for Construction. David Ladis, Project Executive for Design. Chris Van Dusen, Project Manager. Christopher Lee, Contracting Officer. Ramon Riesco, Southern Border Project Director. Anthony Kleppe, Land Port of Entry Program Manager. Osman Kadri, NEPA Program Manager. And finally, thank you to the City of San Luis for hosting us at the Cesar Chavez Community Center, for sponsoring the refreshment that are to follow, and for the coins that commemorates today's event. This is the coin you'll be given, each and every one of you will be given at the end of the program. So, ladies and gentlemen, this concludes our groundbreaking ceremony. Once again, thank you so much for coming and being a part of this momentous occasion. Thank you so much.
Thank you once again, and a special thanks to the City of San Luis for hosting this event and providing lunch. Please remain seated until the usher dismisses your table for lunch.